Hi everyone, I'm Tashina from Logical Harmony. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me today. Today's video is all about the new Modern Metals collection from e.l.f. They recently launched this and I believe it came out of their last Beautyscape, which is an event that they do with different content creators. And I know that part of what they did was have a contest and ask them to create shades or a collection inspired by New Orleans, which is where they were. And this collection is the outcome of that. So I thought that was really cool. e.l.f. is cruelty free. Everything they make is also vegan. If you guys want to learn more about cruelty free brands, you can head over to my website, logicalharmony.net. I have tons of resources there for you just to make going cruelty free super, super easy. So for today's look, I wanted to use the entire collection. e.l.f. sent this to me a couple weeks ago and I've been using it a fair amount and it's nice. It's really good. I really like it. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I've been using this, I like it. If you've picked it up, comment, let me know what you think of it. Let me know what your favorite products from it are. In today's video, I use their blush palette, which has 3 blushes and 3 highlight shades. I love the variety of shades that are in here, and I think that they just did such a good job with this. I did also use their eyeshadow palette. The packaging is very similar to a lot of their other palettes. The Opposites Attract was in a totally different package, but this is like the standard e.l.f. eyeshadow palette packaging that you're used to seeing. It comes with a mix of matte shades and shimmer shades. The collection also includes a liquid lipstick and a lip gloss. If you want to see how to get this look, just keep watching. So I did already do my face makeup. I did my primer, foundation, concealer, powder, and bronzer. I will list all the products that I use down below so you guys can easily find them. Since today's video is just about the e.l.f. Modern Metals collection, I wanted to show only those products. Just keep it short and sweet. So I'm going to use the face palette today to blush and highlight since I do already have my bronzer on. And for blush, why am I saying likes? For blush, I like to mix these 2 shades here. This one is a little bit dark for me right now, but I do appreciate that they have different tones to all the blushes. I think it's really, really pretty and really helpful. And even though I mix them, I go in with a pretty light hand. So I've used these with a few different brushes and they are very, very pigmented. So I like to use a fluffier brush that's a little less dense. It just gives you a little more control. These blushes do build up and layer really nicely. I just find that with the wrong brush, can easily get a little over pigmented. For highlight, I'm going to use this lightest shade right here. This one is so pretty. These ones right now, since I'm fair, are really, really pretty on the eyes. I haven't used them as highlight because they're a little bit dark, but this one is gorgeous. And I feel like on its own, it's already pretty pigmented, but if you spray down some setting spray and then layer it on top, it is a very intense highlight. And you guys know how much I love my e.l.f. highlighters too. I'm gonna highlight my nose, my Cupid's bow, a little bit, and other places on my face just to give me a little bit more glow, but really focusing on those cheeks. So I find the formula of this highlighter to be a little bit different than their others. I feel like it's a little bit finer. It's not quite as dry, and I feel like it blends a little bit differently. Honestly, to me, this feels a little bit more like their eyeshadows versus their other highlighters. I have so many of their highlighters, and I really love all of them, but for some reason, I feel like this formula is a little bit different. Same with the blush. I feel like things are just a little smoother, a little more finely milled, and I feel like there's a little more pigment to them and a little bit more staying powder. There's not staying, I mean, I guess it is staying powder. So the eyeshadow palette is a mix of mattes and shimmers. I have used pretty much every shade in this at this point. They all blend really well. I feel like when I talked about the Opposites Attract palette from e.l.f. in a video, I'll link to that down below, but I commented saying that I felt like their formula had changed, and I feel like that with this palette too. I feel like the mattes are a lot more buttery than they used to be and a lot easy to blend. I feel like some of them used to be a little bit patchy and then it could be a little bit hit or miss depending on the matte formula and like the matte shade. All of these blend so nicely. Same with the Opposites Attract palette. All the mattes, so nice. The shimmers are really, really pretty as well, and they also blend really nicely. I feel like there's a little bit more pigment in all of them too. I don't know, I just feel like e.l.f. is stepping up their game, and I feel like they've made a lot of changes in their formulas. You guys probably wanna see it, so let's see this in action. I'm gonna use a mix of the mattes and the shimmers. Unfortunately, the palette doesn't say like what shade is what, so I'm just gonna point. So I'm going to start by putting this lightest matte shade all over my lid and blending that up towards my brow bone. I will also list the brushes that I'm using down below too for you guys. Next, I'm going to use that same brush and take the next darkest shade and apply it just a little bit lower in my crease. So next I'm going to take this yellow shade and use that to kind of blend those two together. And then I'm also gonna take that up a little bit towards my brow bone too. Not too much, just a little. So next I wanna darken up the outer corner, so I'm going to go in with this purple shade. I'm gonna use kind of a more dense brush for that. And what I like to do with the purple and the blue in this is I like to kind of like place them where I want and then blend them. I find that they perform a little bit better and last a little bit longer that way. So I'm going down and using these on top of the other shades. I have used them with just concealer as the base, and I set the concealer and put this on top, and there's so much pigment to them. It's really, really nice. So one thing I do really like about this palette is that you can create these more natural wearable looks, and you can create some different bold combinations as well. You guys can see this just blends so nicely and so easily. I love when you don't really have to work with shadows to get them to blend, when they kind of just do it on their own. And I feel like all of these work really well together. So I'm gonna take this lighter bronzy gold and just use that on a flat packed brush. And just blend a little bit more and add a little more purple. For my inner corner and brow bone highlight, I'm going to use this lightest shade here. I've also used the highlight shade, and it's really, really pretty too. Again, like I mentioned, I love that these are so versatile and you can really kind of mix and match, and the blush shades work really well as eyeshadow too. Like, I feel like with this collection, there's just so much you can do. And then on my lower lash line, I'm going to take that navy shade and put that pretty close to my lashes. And then I'm going to blend it out with this kind of peanut buttery shade here. I just want a hint of the blue. So I'm going to do liner and mascara, and I will be right back. Also in the collection are a liquid lipstick and a lip gloss. I feel like this lip gloss reminds me a lot of Over the Top from the Dose of Colors and Desi Katie collection. It's really pretty. I've worn it a few times, and when you first put it on, it is so metallic that it can be a little startling, but it looks gorgeous on. It's so good on its own or as a lip topper. And honestly, I haven't used the liquid lipstick yet, so let's get into that. I've seen a lot of people use this, and I feel like the shade looks very different on everyone. So I'm a little bit nervous because it looks really like kind of light and peachy on some people, and more like a terracotta brown on others, and then kind of just like a nude on other people too. So I'm not really sure what to expect. All right, that is definitely a terracotta on me. So I actually really like the wand on this. So e.l.f.'s newer liquid lipsticks have this like kind of triangle shaped wand, which I think is really helpful because you have that pointy edge to really get in there and help you define things or get into like the different areas of your mouth and the different shapes of your lip. I just think it's helpful. It dries down very quickly. We'll see how it wears over time. I haven't tried any of their newer liquid lipsticks either, so I'm not sure about the formula. In the past, they've been okay. They're not my favorite, but they're not like the worst I've ever used. And I do like the shades. They have a bunch of these in new shades too. I'm gonna put a little gloss over the top. So I actually really like that shade. I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure if I would like it, but I actually really like it. I think this collection is so perfect for fall and for winter. And I just love that there's a variety of good solid neutrals in the palette and a few pops of colors too. So if you picked it up, comment, let me know what your favorite shades or products from it are, and I'll see you next time.